Hello for all our wine lovers
and book lovers.
This is Wine Sisters Book Club. Welcome.
I feel like we just harmonized.
We went at 2 different octaves.
Sometimes our tones are very different when we do that intro, but that one was good.
That one was good.
We're synced. It's going to be a good episode.
It is.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how some people have given us the feedback that they can't tell the difference between our voices. This is Nikki.
This is Aly.
I guess we don't do that ever. We just
never
jump in and we're like, guess.
Pick your favorite sister by the sound of our voice. But wait, you can't tell us apart.
Yeah.
Who's
talking?
talking?
Who's talking right now?
Tell me, what is new?
You know, that long weekend really took it out of me. We did some serious wine consumption. We supported the wine industry last weekend.
I love that.
Yeah. And just after, 4 days, give or take, of supporting the wine industry, I was so ready to just have like a week where I'm working like out in the field with my team. And then I look at my calendar, and on Tuesday, my day was to go to Napa, to go to a winery to visit and taste.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, another day supporting the wine industry with my consumption. But other than that, I've been doing great. How about you?
Good. I mean, I can't believe it's officially summer break, though our kids are still a little young where we don't have true summer break, but they don't have school for next week. And then we can put them back into school because they're in preschool. But I think because it's summer break, it has me thinking, what am I going to do with my family this summer?
Yeah. But like, can you first going back, can you remember when we were in school, summer did not start until like the middle of June, like almost the end of June.
It's so crazy. And now, but we went to school the end of early September. Let's just like after Labor Day, we went back to school. Now kids are going back to school like mid-August.
And I think at like the end of our high school years, we probably were going like the end of August was when school started. And it was like, I remember one of my best friends from high school, Taylor, her birthday is June 8th. And so I remember her birthday was always like right around it was either the week before the last week or the last week. And so I'm like, but it just keeps getting earlier and earlier. And I just don't understand the why.
I don't understand spring break. Or I mean, summer break. I don't understand the public school system. I don't understand any of it. Like when our kids get into actual school, I'm terrified of summer.
Right.
My coworker was talking to me and he was like, oh, I'm super excited actually for summer break. And I was like, well, why would you be excited for that?
Sounds horrible.
And I mean, it was like really sweet. He was saying because he works from home mostly, his wife has a different job where she can be present, I think, a lot of the time when they're out of school. So she'll be assuming most of the responsibilities. For him, it was fun. Like, oh, when I'm, between meetings, I could jump in the pool with them, or I could like see my kids a little bit more than I normally do. And I'm a terrible mom. And I'm like, I don't want to see my kids more. I feel like we're good. I enjoy work for that purpose.
I know. Well, I think that's one of the reasons that I've like loved having a nanny is when they're at our house and I'm like home for work for lunch and I happen to be at lunch at the same time as them. Like I can interact with my kids a little bit because I come home for lunch almost every day. That's the benefit of living 5 minutes from work is that you can come home if you have a pre-made lunch, you just pop it in the microwave or put some salad dressing on it and you're out in 30 minutes and back in the office.
That's so true. I forget. I do love that aspect. I mean, I have seen my daughter like 2 different times today and like gotten to kiss her little cheeks. And your son was just roaring at me like a dinosaur, which was really cute. But he looks at me and goes, Tia, Aye. Like he's trying to say Aly. It's so cute.
So cute.
He's really cute. Maritza and I decided he's going to be a hippie when he's older. He's very free-spirited.
He is very free-spirited, that boy.
Okay, but since it's summer, I feel this pressure to like we're going to Tahoe. We go to Tahoe every year. We have a family cabin there, but I feel this other pressure to like plan something else with the kids, specifically about summer. Like, do we rent a house somewhere? Do we take a little summer vacation? Do you know what I mean? Like in Tahoe, I don't take for granted. I love it. But like, I think I need more than one thing in the summer.
Yeah, like one thing to look forward to.
Yeah, we really don't have anything else, which normally we're booked completely full, but I don't have a whole lot of other going on.
Well, our husbands are going camping with Dad.
Yeah, I know. So we'll be home.
Yeah. And we'll be home with the kids. And then
Mothering.
I have one of my other best friends' bachelorette parties in New Orleans in July.
Okay,
So
so
that'll
you
be
have things
rough.
going on, and I don't. You have a bachelorette party.
And then we're going to Tahoe in August. My family is going to Tahoe in August, but
And then when's Lo's wedding?
it's in September, but in the south of Spain, and it's on Luca's birthday. So I'm so sad I won't be
Feels like
able
you have
to go.
to take them.
Yeah. It feels like you have. Yeah.
Luca would be so good on that flight.
When we said Luca's a free spirit, he's his own free spirit.
Yeah.
He goes the way he wants to go.
Yeah.
A flight doesn't really work. Yeah, even like a 2-hour flight with Luca is like, give me a Xanax because I'm gonna be stressed. My anxiety will be through the roof.
So do you guys have anything booked with the kids for the summer, or is it just Tahoe for you too?
So it's just Tahoe really for us with the kids, but I was thinking, oh no, we're going to Arnold with Logan and Tyler.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but I was thinking about maybe taking Sienna to San Diego to see one of my other good friends, and maybe for
Their new baby.
Their new baby. His first birthday is in August.
I go new baby. He's almost 1.
He's almost 1, and I haven't met him yet. So I'm like, maybe me and Sienna will do like a little mommy-daughter trip down south.
That'd be fun. I think a one-on-one trip would be really good.
Yeah, and she'd be excited. And if we got to stay at a hotel with like a nice pool, she calls it the cool.
The cool?
Can we go in the cool?
I mean, it is pretty cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Cold.
I was going to say, our pool is cool.
Our pool, cold.
It's cold.
So, freezing.
It is so cold you really don't want to be in it, no
Yes.
matter how hot it is outside.
Yeah. Yeah, but what are you thinking? Any
I don't know.
ideas?
We were like thinking we have no 4th of July plans.
Oh yeah.
For me, that we were talking about what is your favorite holiday recently, and Christmas is mine. As Nikki knows,
Yes.
I've Christmas obsessed. Have Christmas music in my head all year.
Yeah.
It's a weird tick. We don't know what's going on.
Tick, 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 tick.
Something's wrong with me, but on a random Tuesday, I will start humming Jingle Bells. Don't know.
Don't
Jones, my son, does it too, so it's hereditary. Watch out for the watch out.
Oh my God.
But I think that 4th of July is my next favorite because I love summer. I love, I don't know, like warm summer nights, fun, outdoors. It just like
Carefree.
yeah, like it just reminds me of like, oh, this is what life is all about.
Right.
You know? And so I think it's my second favorite holiday. So I feel compelled to figure something out.
And I honestly feel like, bringing it back to books,
Yeah.
4th of July and Christmas are a romance novelist's favorite holidays too.
Are they? Well, no, go figure. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
a romance novelist girly at heart, and
Yeah.
I can't hide it, which you'll see as when it comes to my review of such book that we read.
I mean, for holidays, my favorite holiday used to be Thanksgiving because everyone would get together and there like was no pressure about gifts. Like I love the
I
art.
love gifts.
Like I love giving gifts. I don't necessarily like receiving gifts
I love
because
both.
I don't know how to like be grateful for things that I don't need.
Or don't want.
Like
And
if
it's
I'm like,
awkward.
I truly didn't need this, and like I feel like you're wasting your money on me. Like I would almost rather not get a gift.
Yeah.
Or I would 100% rather not get a gift. And I don't know how to like school my features. Like if you know me, you know that like every thought is on my face. If you're watching these videos, you can see my expressions are intense.
And it's been that way your entire
My
life.
entire
Some
life.
epic moments in Christmas when Nikki did not like her gift
Yeah.
as a child.
Yeah.
But no, I get what you mean because it's a little uncomfortable in that scenario.
Yeah.
And I think we're just at the age now where if you want something in a general, nothing outrageous, but
Right.
in a general, what
Like
am
if I
looking
need
for?
a
Like
new
reasonable,
if I need a new pair of sandals, like
you will buy them.
I will just go buy them.
Yes, I agree. Though I do like to, there's something about, I don't know. I like to give and receive, though. I think it's one of my love languages.
Well, that's why I like birthdays better because I like to
Yeah.
give gifts.
Yeah.
So like I enjoy going to people's birthdays because I think it's fun to be able to like think about someone, pick out a gift that they like. Sometimes it's stressful if they're really hard, like mom to shop for.
Yeah.
Mom's hard.
So you got a massage today, and I was thinking about how you got a massage and how it's like amazing that you make that time for yourself once a month. And it was on my literal list of, what are those things called? Resolutions, New Year's resolutions, about how I wanted to basically make more time for myself and self-improvement, self-care. I haven't done any of it. And okay, massages are one thing, but in my mind, I was really going to start trying to do maybe facials once a month or something. And I was super intimidated. I am super intimidated of it, not just like booking a regular facial, but it's more of like, what does that do for me in the long run? And if I'm going to do it every month,
It's expensive.
it's expensive.
Yeah.
Totally. So that's probably the biggest reason why I've never been like, okay, I'm committing to this, because I would rather have like a new shirt or something if I was
Right.
spending that money. But I also was thinking about, and I don't know if this job exists, but I think it'd be really cool. And what I would love to have is like a beauty consultant, like a private beauty consultant, somebody who could meet with you, look at you and say everything about you. Like, okay, let's look at your skin. Like, what are your goals? Okay, this is the facial service that you should go get once a month, or like you should get this twice a year. Or even like my eyebrows. Like, this is like a weird thing because they're my arch nemesis, literally arch nemesis, that I hate them so much. And I'm like, I would love to have someone tell me like what I should do to get them under control, or like fill in the patches, to the makeup, to like the
Yeah.
way I do my makeup. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they don't have to perform the service. They just need to advise me.
Yeah.
Because I can't figure it out.
Well, they have like the nurse practitioners that like specialize in facial balancing. And I've always wanted to see one of those that are like, oh, like here are the different things that I would recommend to like facially balance you. And I get a lot of that.
Like
Content.
my eyebrows,
Well, no, it's more like
putting filler in my face.
it's more like work done, like
Okay.
Botox here, filler here,
Okay.
Sculptra here, you know, like.
Yeah.
But I get fed that kind of stuff on Instagram because it's something I'm interested in. I don't have any filler in
Sculptra,
my
yeah,
face or
filler.
Sculptra. I'm not going to say anything about Botox, but
We know
Nothing that
this
makes
is
me
a no
happier.
judgment zone. That's why obviously
listen
Botox is easy to figure out on your own, and to just go to somebody who knows.
Right.
But
I
do you
feel
know
like
what I'm saying?
The facial balancing though, like they can help you get to like, oh, like, well, your jaw's a little bit wide here. Like if we put some Botox in it, like it would narrow and give you more of a heart shape, you know, those kinds of things.
I mean, that's like a whole other level that hadn't even crossed my mind. So this is why I knew I could bring this up to you, because you've seen things that I don't know exist. I just like want someone to be like, you got some wrinkles, so you should do hydrofacials once a month. You know, whatever. I'm just
Right.
like using that word because I know it. But you know, like I see all these people getting laser treatments
Yeah.
on their face, like a laser
know.
facial, like all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, how do you know when you should do that? What does it do for you? Do you have to do it regularly? You know, who knows?
Yeah.
It's too much. I don't have time for it. When I'm off work, I want to read.
I know.
And
And
drink
I
wine.
think that's my biggest problem is that like when you making time for myself, when I make time for myself, I literally read. Like when
Me
I
too.
went to get a massage, I was like, I wish I had my AirPods so that I could be listening to my audiobook. like it's literally insane. Like my brain is not right.
Nathan told me that he is worried about my obsession with books. He's like, I think it's really unhealthy. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I don't sit and scroll on Instagram hardly at all anymore, because I'll pick up, even if I have my phone in my hand, I'm looking at the Kindle app. Like I'm reading because
Yeah.
I'm interested. However, I haven't been that into the last 2 books I've been reading.
Are you reading Wedding People right now?
Yeah. Does it take a little while to warm up?
It does. But
Okay.
like once
I'm only 20%.
Okay, once I got into that book, it's honestly one of like my favorites.
I know you
That's,
gave
like,
it 5. So
I
I'm
really liked it.
okay. It's not totally a dud. I'm just like, I'm waiting for something to like happen.
And I like this book reminded me a lot of like the same vibe as Strange Sally Diamond, and not that they're at all connected. Like
And I
they
didn't
don't
like
have,
that book.
They don't have any threads that are similar. I liked this one more than Strange Sally Diamond, but it was still just like the way that the writing was done. It's like
It's
there's
like her neurotic thoughts, you know, like
right and
a
but
stream
like,
of consciousness a little bit.
a little bit, and I kind of liked that. Yeah, so I really like that book. I recommend it still, even if you don't like it.
Well, I'm
recommend
only
it.
20% in, so like,
Yeah. I feel like if you just get it's a quick read once you like get to the part that you like. I think I probably was like at 30% where I was like, I'm in.
Out or you're in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what's happening here? Yeah. Well, and so I guess that's a good turning point to Wild Dark Shore.
Yes.
What we're all here to talk about.
Yes.
So Wild Dark Shore, this is where we'll give you a little intro, and then afterwards, spoilers are out. So Wild Dark Shore is a story that is essentially about a group of individuals who live on a subarctic island, and a woman who shows up on shore, half drowned to death. And it's really her story discovering what's happening on the island between a family living there, researchers who are protecting a seed bank vault. And it's a thriller mystery, lots of twists and turns, dark and stormy, as you would suggest by the title of the book. And now we're going to get into it.
Yes. So do we start with ratings? I can't remember.
I think so. Let's start with it.
So what did you rate it?
I gave it a 3.
And I, Nikki.
Yeah, Aly gave it a 3.
And I gave it a 5. Like, I really liked this book.
This is the biggest gap we've ever had.
I think so. Like, we're usually pretty much in line with one another.
Yeah.
Like, within a half of a point. But this is big.
I know.
I can't believe you didn't like it. I thought that because you liked God of the Woods, and I was okay. Oh, I guess that one you gave a 5 and I gave a 3, right?
Yeah, but I think you said 4.
No, I gave a 3.
Oh, okay.
So this is similar. This is just the reverse. Mm-hmm. So when I read this book, I was like, oh, this is perfect for the podcast because has a lot of it's like a mystery thriller, sort of. But it's also just kind of a novel. And it's also like got all of these like subtopics like global warming, overpopulation, consumerism, and all of these different things that just like pop up, but from a background perspective. And I thought that was really interesting, especially from like the lens of what we do for work. Just like knowing that it kind of like has some themes that can play into what we do in wine. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. So I thought you would really like it because it has like that mystery piece from like different perspectives, like God of the Woods, which you really liked, but I don't know. And there was romance in it too. More than God of the Woods, I'd say.
What I didn't love about it is, and normally I love a historical fiction. I love learning about other details that add value to my life other than just like this fictional storyline. So that's what I really love about a historical fiction. For this, I was having a hard time because maybe it's because you're a viticulturalist. Mm-hmm. And for me, all the information about the plants and the species of the plants, I just honestly felt like it dragged on and on.
Well, so for me, that piece was all Orly, who is the youngest son. He's 9 years old, and he's clearly so into this. And I just thought it was actually really endearing. Like, it wasn't even that I was interested in, like, him telling me about all the plants and the species. It was that he was excited about it. And I did, I got the audiobook and the hard copy, or the Kindle copy. Yeah. Hard copy for me is always a Kindle. Yeah. I do not like paper. So I had Kindle and audio. And so I was switching back and forth between Kindle and audio. Like if I got in my car and had to drive to Monterey, I would listen to it on audiobooks. And like his voice in the audiobook like was really endearing to me. Like, I don't know. It was something, maybe I just really liked the audio.
Orly was definitely my favorite character.
Okay.
Because I just thought he was so sweet.
He's so sweet.
So, and like you said, interested in everything, passionate.
Yeah.
So I appreciated those elements of his character. I think it was just, honestly, it was the seed aspect, the mystery to me. I didn't exactly know what happened, but I didn't think those families were killers. So the family, the Salt family, Dominic, Fen, Orly, Raph, I did not think they were killers. So it was just sort of like, what happened to these people? Why is all the communication on this island cut off?
Yeah.
We're waiting to find out. So, there was just, to me, it like didn't move maybe fast enough to maintain the level of interest I was hoping to have for the book.
Right.
And then I thought it was really dark. Like there was like a lot of like darkness. Like Rowan, her character, she was so negative about all those undercurrent themes that you were just talking about. Population growth, how terrible the world is, the climate. Like, yes, her house burned down. We live in California. That's super real. She lived in Australia, I believe.
Yes.
And so, like, yeah, those terrible things are happening, but like, does it mean you should give up on life?
So I hear you for sure. And I don't share her view on like overpopulation, but I do know people who do. And I think that's why it gave me like the perspective of like, this is a real thought. And I totally understand her thought because every new person on this earth creates so much waste.
Yeah, but population growth has been in a decline.
I know, but that doesn't mean
still
that
overpopulated.
And the earth is still suffering.
Right.
Like
I understand that.
Like, and I think, and even if you don't believe that, the
earth is round.
Yeah, the earth is actually flat. No, no, but no matter what you believe, like from my perspective, it's like I love to like hear about other people's perspectives, especially ones that are actually real. Like people have these ideas and thoughts, and it's interesting to me. And I think that's one of the reasons that I really liked the book, because I was like, yeah, I know people that don't want to have kids because of population growth, because of the planet, because they don't want to create more waste, because of all the plastic in the ocean, like things like that. So it's just
extreme environmentalists, which I guess is what all of these people are.
Yes.
So I'd just love to know your perspective. What do you think about raising children out on this sub-Antarctic island?
So I think that, so going back to the favorite character, because you said your favorite character was Orly. My favorite character, I think, was Raph, because he was a gifted musician, but he really struggled with schoolwork. And he was the oldest, I believe.
Yeah, he was.
I get confused between him and his sister. But so he's the oldest, and he really struggled with schoolwork, and he really didn't have any help. And I think that was like the part that broke my heart a little bit, because if he was somewhere else, he may have had more opportunities to receive the help that he needed to catch up, or to really pursue his music because he was gifted.
Or on the contrary, he was able to refine his talents in music and his capturing the sounds underwater, like advance all these other hobbies, because school was never going to be for him. I don't know. I would never obviously raise kids on this island, so I think we'll just like say that as it is. It could never be Dominic myself. I felt sad that the kids somewhat felt isolated. It's like they all knew they had a great dad, but he didn't seem like overly present for any of them.
No, he didn't. And the piece of him talking to Claire. So Claire is the wife that passed away in childbirth to Orly. Yeah. And he would go into their bedroom, and he had a bunch of belongings of Claire's tucked in there, and he would talk to her, and the kids all knew he was doing it. And like a piece of me broke, like in that, you know what I mean? Like you're just like, you feel for the kids. You're like, I don't know what I would do if my husband passed away early. Like, I'm sure I would be torn apart. I'm sure I'd be wrecked.
Yeah.
But you just feel for the children and how it impacted them. And he doesn't know it's impacting them either. So it's not like he's doing it purposefully. I think if he knew, he would probably be like crushed even more.
Totally. And I think he did himself no favors in trying to like move past her by moving them on this like island with nobody else other than the researchers, who apparently all died.
Well, no, a lot of them did get out. A lot of them did get out. There was just the 2 deaths when Alex and Raph went to have their romantic night. Alex's brother.
3 deaths.
Well, 3, yes.
Naja, or I don't know how to say her name. Naja?
I don't even remember on the audiobook. It was
like, Alex's brother and Naja,
his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then
Alex.
So
why do you think, like, in this story, I was like, what did all of these deaths contribute to the storyline? Like, it was like, did they need to die, all of them, or could they have just left on the boat, and that's what made his son so tore up at the end of the day?
I think that there's like It definitely was depressing, but like there's like a little bit of realism. Like you're living in harsh conditions. They wanted to bring in the fact that like people start to lose their minds a little bit. Like
Yes.
you know, like
we have to
there's-
talk about Hank losing his mind.
Yes, Hank, the child molester.
Hank Jones. Yeah.
What a jerk.
I don't understand. Like, so one thing they never touched on was the spirits and the voices and like why Orly and the children, all of them, they kind of admitted to being able to hear the spirits of death. Do you know what I mean? Like Orly even
Yeah.
looked at Rowan one time and said, "Don't worry, we hear them too." Because they all heard like voices on this island. So like I was like, is there something magical in this book or like what is happening?
I think it's more just like a whimsy add to the book, like
Okay.
to the writing style. I don't think it was like that serious. At least that was my take.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it was like something to like give like, I don't know, like a legend to the island.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get where you're going. And like, do we think ultimately it's these spirits that made Hank lose his mind? Why did Hank lose his mind when he seemed perfectly buttoned up in his regular life?
I honestly think it's because of like his, like there's like
The weight of the job.
the weight of the job, but also like the weight of global warming and the weight of overpopulation and like that no one else cares. And so like I think they were showing like not only like you're trying to do a good thing for the world, but like there's a dark side to it because like if you stare at the sun, I keep using this reference, but like the longer you stare at the sun, like you burn your eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
Like if you,
it's a good
like,
reference. Keep using it.
I used it like 3 times at work yesterday.
That's not good. But okay, we'll move on.
Everyone's like, Nikki, you got to stop. You're embarrassing us.
Nikki is the next Hank Jones.
I've been staring at the sun. Yeah, so that's what I think that it really was for him. It's not like the voices that are turning him mad. I think it's just like he overanalyzed the way that the world is and what his impact could do, and then he thought no one cares enough and decided to blow the whole thing up.
One thing I did think was interesting is, okay, so the seed vault that they were protecting was clearly very important.
Yes.
Right? It was like the future. If something really terrible happens to the world because of all the things that we all know that's harming this planet, here's all the seeds that could propel us into the future. And then to place the responsibility on one man to decide what stays and goes. Like, what's the point of having the seed vault in the first place? You know, it pointed out to me maybe the way and I don't know if this was government run or if it was privately held or like who was running it, but it's just sometimes the details I think are lost on how to like execute things in the right way or, you know, like why is this happening?
Right.
You know, like, so, and I thought that happens across so many different areas of everything that it's like just another relatable instance of, oh, great, good thing we put all this time and effort into categorizing all these seeds and making sure we had everything when, oh, you can only take 50% and you pick, hey, we don't care, you do it, you know? So that part's like really interesting.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that it just shined a light on a lot of different things to me because I didn't even know that seed banks existed. Like I did not know.
I didn't know that either. I don't know that I cared to know, honestly. Again, I like to live in bliss, yeah, which is ignorance.
Yeah.
On a few things. I'm a big recycler, okay?
Yeah.
Love sustainability, like we're big on sustainability, but like some of the darkness, and this is maybe why I didn't love this book, is a little overwhelming for me. And so I just prefer to stay a bit of an arm's length away. Like I remember I had a population class at school in college, and it was very dark. Yeah. And I was like what are we all doing here? Why am I in school? Like we're all going to die. This whole planet's going to burn down. You know, like it was like, what's the point of anything? Yeah. What's the point of life? So I guess I get Hank. But yeah, anyways, I like to put my head in the sand sometimes.
I understand that feeling completely. I think I put my head in the sand for politics. I'm like
100%.
Who But with this, I just found it really interesting just because it's different perspectives. And I loved learning about the seed banks. I have actually since been looking into researching seed banks and understanding them. I'm like, how do I get the Wente clone of Chardonnay in there?
Oh my gosh. I love that. We have to figure that out. It's
I know.
Very important.
Very important if we have to rebuild
and we
civilization.
will put a tag on it. Take this one if you must cut down to 50%.
Yes.
Take this.
Important.
Yeah, we'll help them.
Well, there's multiple seed banks around the world. It's not just that one.
I'm just fucking around. Okay. So Hank Jones.
Crazy.
Have to talk about him. We talked about him a little bit. Has an affair with Fen, the daughter.
Who's 16 at the time? She's young.
She's young. And...
Or maybe she was 17, but she was
no,
still
I think
young.
she was 16 because I think she just turned 17. So,
Yeah.
very young. Obviously then tries to kill her. Do you think that what they did was right? Locking him down in the cellar, essentially, as a prisoner?
Well, it sounded to me what I understood was that they had a plan to take him when they were getting picked up. So
right.
it was
he was going to go on the boat.
They weren't going to kill him.
No. But what do you think would have happened to Dominic? Do you think he would have been arrested for doing that with him?
No, I think that he had no other options. So if you said he tried to kill my daughter,
yeah.
We had no other options. Our communication was broken.
Yeah, it's either kill him or he kills my daughter.
Right. But the craziest thing is that Orly killed the communication. And
know.
they all thought it was Hank. I thought it was Hank the whole book.
Why did Orly do it again?
Because he was so mad about the
he didn't want Hank
seeds.
to leave. He didn't want Hank to leave. He wanted Hank to stay.
Well, Hank wasn't going to leave. He was mad about Hank, choosing different seeds that he didn't want. And, it was, this whole thing about, he wanted all the seeds to go. Orly did not want to lose one seed. But here we are today.
Okay. I have one last question for you.
Okay.
Do you think Rowan should have died?
No. I think that I actually, now that I am thinking back on my rating, I think I rated it a 4.5 and the 0.5 doc was because Rowan died.
She was the hope
She was the hope
to that family story.
And I think that I am such a romance reader
Me too.
where I'm I need a happy ending, happy ever after. That's what I want. And this was not that.
No.
But I still really liked I gobbled the book up. I read it so fast. I loved every second of it until that freaking point. And then I was like, what the heck?
I was just shocked. I was like, okay, they're going for the dramatic ending. There's no way she's actually going to die. Because, yeah. Anyways, it sort of broke my heart for the kids. It's they almost had to suffer two mothers' deaths now because they all knew that their dad and Rowan were in love.
Right.
And so to me, that was
Really
kind of heartbreaking. That's also probably why I gave it a 3 because I'm like, God dang, this book, there's no hope. I
know.
Everybody dies. The seed vault floods. They don't even get I guess Orly ended up taking the seeds he wanted, which were the unique ones that nobody would have chosen and put them in the freezer, which is sweet, but not how it probably all should have gone. Everything was a mess in this book and there was no outlook that
Right. You truly don't need a 9-year-old picking the seeds.
no
Maybe the scientist
yeah
is okay on his own deciding, but the 9-year-old is probably not the right one.
no though he was sweet.
He was sweet. He was sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what do you think of your wine?
I think it's good. What do you think of your wine?
So we're drinking big, dark, and stormy reds on this 95-degree day in Livermore Valley. So it's honestly not at 4 p.m. So it's really not what you want to be doing at 4 p.m. on a hot day.
Also, Nikki clearly doesn't turn the AC on in her house. I am sweating in here.
No, it's
and
on.
I got an alert that Luca's room is 80 degrees. So you're going to need to turn on the AC before your children try to go to sleep.
We have an upstairs and a downstairs. The downstairs is on. I can hear it right now. So
that's the
stop
fridge.
Complaining. That is not the fridge. What do you think we live in, the 80s?
I have this weird feeling we picked the same wine.
No, we didn't.
No?
Because, well, I don't know. My wine is not a Wente Vineyards wine, so I'm going to give you a little softball.
Okay. But is it in the portfolio?
No.
Oh.
I gave Aly, so I picked my wine based on this book, and I went through my cellar. So it was what I have in my cellar. I have a wine closet. And so you keep sniffing. You just
what do you think?
Get varietal and try and get maybe AVA, maybe anything else. Like guess. Do some guessing.
Okay. I think it's a Napa Merlot.
A Napa Merlot. Final guess.
I think so.
Okay. So this is the Benzinger Cabernet Sauvignon.
Oh, dang it.
And it is the 2021 from, it's called Obsidian Point. And so when I was looking, Benzinger is biodynamic. And so that's why I picked this wine, because I was like, oh, it has like, you know, environmental impact thoughts in its like DNA. And so biodynamic basically is like going above and beyond both sustainability and organics. So it's really like,
not sustainability, because sustainability from a vineyard perspective.
well, no, biodynamics takes into consideration your community, everyone around you as
does
well.
it? I had no idea.
Biodynamics does, organics does not.
Yeah. Okay.
Regenerative organics does. But anyways, so biodynamic wine called Obsidian Point. It's a Cabernet.
I thought it was a Merlot because it was really soft.
Yeah.
Like the tannin structure is soft. Like I don't get tons of it. It's not grippy in my mouth. It's just sort of velvety, lush, plummy, honestly. Dark and stormy, like this book.
And so I almost picked the Married as Well Merlot. That was my other. And then when I went to grab it, I saw this wine and I was like, Obsidian Point, biodynamic. That's the one.
Okay. So what do you think mine is?
I think yours is a Wendy Vineyards wine. I think that yours is, or it could be a Married as Well wine. It could be Married as Well Merlot, because that has like lush tannins, like really beautiful, and it's big and bold. And I know Merlots are not always big and bold, but the Married as Well Merlot is, and the Nth Merlot is. I also thought maybe it was the Nth Cab because we had that recently, but the Nth Cab has like a little bit more like gritty tannin, like, or not gritty, like a little bit more like drying tannin. So I'm thinking that it is the Nth Merlot.
You're right.
I got it.
You got it. You are right. You are too good for this. Should I unwrap my foil? I forgot. I lost my bag, so now we're in this foil. That, my friends, is the sound of foil. Oh, it was the Nth Cab.
Oh my gosh.
I grabbed the wrong bottle out of the bag.
Well, so I was wrong.
You're wrong.
But so I was, when I was tasting it, I was between the Nth Cab and the Nth Merlot, and I was like, and then when I was like, then when you said that Merlot, I was like, okay, so it's probably Merlot because you asked if they were the same.
I showed my cards. Jesus.
If you didn't, I might have said the Cab. I literally chose based on your cards.
It was all part of my game.
Yeah, so we both picked cabs.
Perfect. Well, this was fun.
This was fun.
I look forward to our next book, which
Yes.
will be announced very soon.
Yeah. In like a few days.
2 days or so. So, cheers, Nix.
Cheers.
Happy weekend.
Happy weekend.